Yes.
Always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for
always good to
stopping
be
by.
here.
Good to see you. You look very snazzy this morning.
Thank you.
So, John Perkins put something up on his Facebook page that says, you guys pulled a little fast one. That Senate amendments removes the addition of 2 lanes for the Jimmy Davis Bridge and the repair of the existing bridge from the list of projects and replaces it with the I-49 North Inner City Connector in Caddo Parish. Did y'all pull a little fast one on us and we didn't see it?
I wouldn't say it's a fast one. Here's the amendment that we did, and we did it on the Senate floor in front of everybody. And originally when this amendment was put on in the Senate Finance Committee, the people from South Louisiana wanted to get votes from all over the state, and they wanted to go to the Jimmy Davis Bridge. My opinion is we need to leverage as much state money as possible to do as many projects as possible. When you put money towards a project, it shifts money around to other areas. We need I-49 Inter-City Connector. There is money in capital outlay for the Jimmy Davis Bridge. We want to leverage our state dollars and pull down more federal money. One of the reasons the Jimmy Davis Bridge has been so delayed is because they're doing these environmental assessments to pull down federal money. It is in the works of doing that. What's used the $22 million that's been allocated to the Jimmy Davis Bridge, pull down federal money, get a new Jimmy Davis Bridge. Let's use this money, this $100 million, to put up the state's portion for the inner city connector, the 3.8 miles, to finish that. We want to leverage. Now, the senators from South Louisiana, they didn't want this to happen for I-49. They realized that if we put all $100 million on the Jimmy Davis Bridge, they can shift money around and more money would go to South Louisiana.
Though they would take that $22 million that's in capital outlay and move it somewhere else, possibly.
No, it would be that you wouldn't be able to leverage and pull down federal money for a project here in Shreveport Bossier.
In other words, the way it works is you say we've got X number of dollars, and the Fed so, okay, you want to go ahead with this project, and you show us you have the financial means to do so, so here's our share.
In a limited, it's not like the Medicaid funding where it's unlimited. It is capped on how much is available, but the idea is, yes, we can pull down federal money, and that doing all the things that we've done for the Jimmy Davis Bridge and getting prepared is because we want to be in line to use federal dollars.
So the point being, this is no, to quote Mark Twain, this is no thimble rig, this is no three-card Monty.
No. And this amendment, if you look at the amendment, Aaron, it has all the senators from the Shreveport Bossier area propose this amendment. And we need the 3.8 miles. We need the Jimmy Davis Bridge. We need I-20 finish through Bossier. If you've been on that, it is in deplorable shape. We can do more than one thing at a time, believe it or not, in the state of Louisiana. And if you look at the bill, there are projects all over the state of Louisiana. And we have to now meet with our congressional delegation, Congressman Johnson, Senator Kennedy, who's been a champion for I-49, and Senator Cassidy, and say, we've done our portion now.
Now move.
Help us to pull down that federal money, especially if there's a new highway bill that comes through the Congress. We're in line. We're ready. Let's finish this interstate.
Foster Campbell says that he's been told that work on the Jimmy Davis Bridge will begin as early as late next year.
And that's what I understand.
Sean Wilson told me early 2021. So for folks to say that we traded off the Jimmy Davis Bridge for this $100 million, that's inaccurate. We're still moving forward with the Jimmy Davis Bridge.
We're still moving forward with the Jimmy Davis Bridge. Would people in South Louisiana like us to use this $100 million just for the Jimmy Davis Bridge? They would love it, because then we couldn't pull down more federal money for the Shreveport Bossier area. With this now, let's keep moving on the Jimmy Davis Bridge, which used the $22 million there to pull down the 80-20 match. Then let's use this $100 million.
I'm glad you brought
I-49.
that, because the Allendale Strong folks say the 80-20 match is now flipped. Now it's 80% on the state, 20% on the feds. That's really not changed, has it?
That's not changed.
That's not accurate?
You know, when in negotiating, you've heard things, if there's a new plan, that's how it would come out. I don't believe that's going to happen. You know, we pay a gas tax, and I believe it's more than we pay in state gas tax. It's always been the feds, especially for an interstate that has commerce across state lines. A bigger portion goes from the federal government, and it's been 80-20. Now it is limited in number, and we do need a national highway bill We need to invest in our infrastructure across the country, and I-49 is a perfect example of what's complete a project that really makes a difference. I mean, it not only does it help with commerce across the country, but in our local community. If you live on the Martin Luther King Road, or you live in North Bossier or North Caddo, you're injured, you need to get to that Trauma One Level Center.
Oh, yeah.
3.8 miles instead of 15 minutes around, or getting off and going down North Market.
Or Airline Drive, yeah.
Or doing that. It'll save lives. It'll also bring people into the heart of our city so they can see those neon lights down there on the river. Come and visit Shreveport Bossier. See those beautiful roses that they've built there on the river. What sell our downtown. Downtown is what gives us our character as an individual city. You know, if you look at the strip malls, which are great, Best Buy and Walmart, they're great. That doesn't tell you what the character of community is.
When the feds, when the government, when the DOT, Department of Transportation, at the federal level looks at the fact that we now have the $100 million allocated for I-49 for the intercity connector, they have the final word. But we've also been told, I guess by you, especially by NLCOG, that they will go with usually they go with the community. What kind of time frame are we looking at, given the fact that it's the federal government,
That's
and
right.
it's a bureaucracy, and how many people really have to check all the boxes?
And all these, the studying is very frustrating. The cultural study, the environmental study, that they continue to be able to delay projects, whether it's the Jamie Davis Bridge, I-49, by studying it. This is something that we have to get our act together. When I see other states that can move a whole lot faster, they're studying it too. But when it gets down to Baton Rouge, to DOTD, it just seems to get slow and slow, and you have fingers being pointed. Oh, it's the federal
But how
government.
about at the federal level, though? If theirs is the final decision, what kind of time frame before it works its way up? And then how long might it take?
And that's something that Congressman Johnson is putting pressure on them to move faster. And that's something that, with the right influence and the right pressure, I think it should go faster. And as you point out, things can move faster. The Empire State Building was built within a year.
13 months, yeah.
We've got to move quicker as a nation on these major projects.
Let me ask you this, because this kind of was frustrating for me. I asked the mayor about the intercity connector. I asked for his response, and his response came back to me that it was something we needed to study. We needed to have more meetings on.
We've had a lot of
studying.
studying.
Is that frustrating for you to hear that?
Absolutely, because we've been studying this for 20 plus years, if not longer, since I-49 was originally being built in the 80s here in North Louisiana. And we've got to move this fast. To studying it more and more, that's a delay tactic.
Do you think that was just his message to Allendale folks to kind of calm them down? Do you think he really supports it?
I can't speak for the mayor.
Okay.
You know, he has to speak for himself and what he truly meant with that. I think we have studied this. We do need to do it right. Let's do it with service roads. Let's bring people in. I don't want to have a interstate that goes through that people just pass through and looks down and they never get off.
So not like the current I-49 south of I-20. You don't want it like that.
We need to have it where people with service roads, and it's going to be a partnership. The city of Shreveport's going to have to step up. Caddo Parish, let's do something. You go into North Dallas. They build an interstate. They build service roads. They have all these businesses that want to be there. Moffett, Porsche, Audi, they want to see that visibility. They have a service road. They want to be there on the corner of Burt Coons and I-49 for that visibility. The same thing with bringing people into our heart of our community with I-49.
In wrapping up, it's not outrageous, therefore, to think that, say, by the year, let's say 2030, when I'm 45 years old, by the year, stop it, Matt, by the year 2030, we could, in fact, have the intercity connector completed and a new four-lane Jimmy Davis Bridge.
It should absolutely. Both of those projects can be done. There's no reason for these projects to take 10 years to build. It's 3.8 miles. I mean, that shouldn't take our nation, our state, 10 years to build. We've studied it. We're ready to go. We know basically where it needs to go, the corridor. They're doing the cultural study there to make sure the historicals, they've been doing that. It lasts too long to do these studies. Let's get moving. Let's start.
And for Jimmy Davis, I mean, Sean Wilson, DOTD guy Sean Wilson told you 2021 for four-lane Jimmy Davis Bridge, right?
Absolutely. Said they're going to begin it in 2021.
But
State
we've got to
Senator-
move faster. We cannot delay anymore.
State Senator Barrow Peacock, great to see you in studio as always.
Glad
Thank you
to be
much.
here, and we do have to. All of our public services, our postmen, they leave their homes that morning. Our first responders are public service, and my heart goes out and sorrow for the family. The postal service, Antonio Williams
Yes,
was reported. We don't know all the details, but we
Tragedy.
just need to thank our posts. We need to thank all of our people who we take for granted way too often in our community. Our first responders, our postmen, people who make our communities work, and
They're always
who
there.
expect to expect that you were leaving on a routine Saturday doing work, and to have this tragedy happen. So my heart, and on behalf of the Senate, we're sorry, and we're our heart goes out to the family.